Nick, how did you assess that today?
I thought it was really tough. I thought, when I woke up this morning and saw the rain, I knew it was going to be, heavy conditions, and obviously not having the warm up before is, that's never happened to me before. So I knew it was going to be a bit of a leveler out there. We're both going to be a little bit cold, but I thought he played really well. I thought, I wasn't really expecting him to, the way he played, with the drop shots, and he was very crafty. So I knew it was going to be a tough match. He had 2 set points in the second set, so I was a bit lucky at times, but I'm just happy to get through.
In the Rome finals, Djokovic was complaining it was too slippery. How did you feel today? Were you scared? Did you change your game?
Not so much. I thought the rain just made the conditions a little heavier, but it didn't really change. It wasn't so much slippery. It was actually surprisingly okay.
Nick, it got a bit tense at the end of the first set. What was your take on the code violation? You seemed a bit upset on the court.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was a little bit rough. I can't do anything about it now, and obviously it was just his personal opinion on, how he thought that I went about it, but it is what it is.
Regarding the same thing, do you feel like you're not getting enough respect or credit from the umpires, or that you're not being treated equally?
No, not really. They're all just, I haven't had too many bad experiences. I think, it's not an easy job up there, especially over 5-set matches, to concentrate. I think they do a good job. All in all, they do a good job.
Nick, you made a reference to the Djokovic incident in Rome where he manhandled the umpire. Is there a sense amongst yourself, or a wider sense in the locker room that maybe we're not privy to, that not enough was sort of made of that incident and it was rather passed over?
I think we all know in this room, if that was me that did that, it'd be an absolute circus. But if he did it, nothing really happened of it, so it speaks for itself.
Nick, what do you know about your next opponent, Igor Sijsling?
He's been on tour for a long time, and I know that he's probably played a lot of Grand Slams, and my good friend Thanasi played him a while ago, so I know what kind of game style he plays, and I'm just glad I got through today and got a couple of days off, and I can do everything to prepare for that.
Nick, you had a bit of a hip issue at your previous tournament. Is everything okay with that now?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Similar question. You fell quite heavily at one point in the first set and landed on your elbow. Obviously you soldiered through, but how did you pull up now?
Yeah, that was fine. He just made me slip, so I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay.
When something like that happens in the first set, where you're clearly bothered by the exchange with the chair umpire, how easy or hard is it for you to move on from that? Does it affect your play in a good way, in a bad way? What sort of lingering effect can something like that have during a match?
I thought I dealt with it okay. Didn't put me off too much, but of course it's frustrating. But I think with someone like me that's pretty emotional, it can frustrate me a little bit. But I thought I dealt with it pretty well. I thought I focused, and that first set's obviously very crucial to win in a best-of-5 match.
Nick, among your disagreements with the umpire was also a few calls here and there. I'm just wondering how you feel about not having Hawkeye at an event like this or on clay in general.
I think that I think you should just have Hawkeye. Maybe not on all the courts, but maybe on the main ones. But there's been a couple of calls in the last couple of weeks that have been really close, and I've seen pictures, or you've seen the Hawkeye and it's actually in. So I don't think it can hurt, but I don't think it could hurt having Hawkeye.
Next to your brother, Lleyton Hewitt was in your box. What is the role of Lleyton Hewitt when it comes to your tennis right now?
He's just a good bloke.
On that code violation, do you think you should have gotten that? It seemed like it was for yelling at the ball kid. Do you think that's a fair reason to get a code violation?
Yeah, I think every time I get the towel from a ball kid, I say thank you. Sometimes when you're a bit frustrated, you do obviously not scream at them, but you do get a little mad at them. But for me that time, I didn't get mad at all. I just said it a little louder. The crowd was going on, and if we're going to play by the rules, you have 20 seconds in between points. So I'm not going to wait for the crowd to quieten down and then get my towel. You know, so I just felt like that was a bit rough.
Nick, sort of on that same note, is that one of the more delicate balances in pro tennis is you're surrounded by all these kids on court and you're obviously trying to be professional and intense and engaged in your match, but then you've got these young kids around you all the time?
Yes, I know. I think the kids do a great job, especially at the Grand Slams. It's usually, you know, up to scratch, and I feel as if they did a great job today. I mean, I'm not even sure if all of them speak English, so you know, so I might have to just be a bit more patient. So, but they did a really good job today. Is that Professor Burton in here? Professor Burton? No? Is that you? Is that you? Hannah says hello. Do you know Hannah Tomjanovic? She says hello. Okay. Okay.